Okay, question 25. It involves solving equations with variables on both sides. So we have x on both sides, and we're going to try and make x to one side and solve for x. So the first thing we have to do is, you could tell right away that you're going to have to use the distributive property. So we're going to be distributing by multiplying. So 0.3 times 12. You can use the calculator for that. You end up with 3.6, which makes sense because 12 times 3 is 36, and then you just move the decimal over once. So that's 3.6 x. 0.3 times 16. You can use the calculator. 0.3 times 16. Because we're doing the distributive property. We're multiplying. 4.8 minus 4.8 equals 0.4 times 12 should be 4.8. 4.8. 0.4 times negative 3. It should be 1.2, but we can go ahead and do it. 0.4 times 3, 1.2, minus 1.2x. Alright, so we have some decimals there. We want the x on one side and we want the numbers on the other. So let's go ahead and move this x to the other side. So we get the opposite sign. What we do to one side, we have to do to the other. This cancels out because it becomes 0. Here you add 4.8x. Bring everything else down. It's a lot of 4.8s. Then we have to get rid of this 4.8. Since it's subtracting, we get the opposite. We add 4.8 to both sides. This ends up canceling because it's a 0. So then I'm left with 4.8x equals, we add that, which is 9.6. You don't believe me? You can use the calculator. And it's still going to give you 9.6. There it is. Almost done. We need to get rid of this 4.8. I ran out of room, so I'm going to rewrite it over here. So 4.8 is multiplying by x. We have to do the opposite. Divide by 4.8 to both sides. This cancels. X equals, we're going to divide that. 9.6 divided by 4.8, which should be 2. Yep, 2. X equals 2. So what we did was distributive property. We move the x's to one side. We move the numbers to the other side, and then we just solve. That's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and do another one. We have variables on both sides. We have an x on one side, an x on the other side. We want the x's on one side. First thing you want to do is get rid of the parentheses, so do the distributive property. Now here, there's not a number in front of the parenthesis, but there is a negative. So it's assumed that it is a -1 that you're going to be distributing. So -1 times -7, and then -1 times -4x. This -5x, leave it alone. -1 times -7 is +7, because a negative times a negative is a positive. -1 times -4x is a +4x. Distributive property here as well. Negative 2 times 3x is negative 6x. And then negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. Now, after I do the distributive property, you have to combine like terms on either side of the parenthesis of the equal sign. So here, do I have any like terms on this side? Yes, I do. I have the negative 5x and the 4x. We're going to combine those. So that becomes negative 1x. Not 9. They're different signs, so you're going to subtract. And then we bring down the plus 7 equals, there's no like terms on that side, so we'll just bring it down. And then now we solve for x. We want x on one side. So we are going to add 6x because we want it on the other side. You could have moved also the 1x to the other side, but I like to have x's on the left. So then here, negative 1 plus 6 is positive 5x. Plus 7 equals 8. Almost done. We want to get rid of the 7, not the 5 first, the 7. So we subtract 7 to both sides, get the opposite. So I have 5x equals 1. And then we divide by 5. Because we want x by itself. And there we go. X equals 1/5. Now you ran out of room. I'll try and make it small. Yeah, that's a weird box.